down the street, no one seems high. Look around you, people are scared. Scared of their neighbors, their co-workers, and their children. Hell, they're scared of themselves. Half the folks I know can't even look themselves in the mirror the right way. That's what happens when you're living in a box your whole life. You get isolated. In the box, work in the box, man, even when you try to escape, it's when they put you in the box, 6 feet under. Where's the love then? Where's the love your neighbor? City of brotherly love. Come on, man.
Yeah, we just had a run-in with the cops. We're just about to make it over the bridge. They pulled us over, asked us if we were wanted men, told them we were Penn students, and they decided to let us off easy. Headed south now to the Ben Franklin Bridge. PA just on the other side of the river. Freedom so close yet so far. I guess you can't get out of New Jersey as easy as that, right? All across the country are losing their safety nets and ending up on the street. But we're not here to solve poverty, and we're definitely not going on a speaking tour about it. We're biking across country to live at the mercy of strangers helping us out, and find people who are living on the streets and inviting them out to a meal. You see, the Bold and Humble Project is not an organization, it's an idea. The idea that breaking social barriers to love people is a hell of a good way to fight the evil in this world. Jesus is the inspiration. Think about it. Bold and humble, breaking barriers, loving the marginalized. You know, we're trying to end our isolation from one another. He ended our isolation from God. That's paper. Now, we don't have footage of the interactions we had with people. These white boys toting cameras during a conversation. It's kind of like politicians kissing babies. So if you really want to see what it looks like, just try it out for yourself.
Boxes made of ticky-tacky, little boxes on the hillside and the boxes.
Yesterday we took the train out to Atlantic City, biked out to the boardwalk. It was all magic and misty. Then the mist rolled away after we were playing in the beach in the sand for a while. And we saw the boardwalk and the Ferris wheel, roller coasters, all that, big gaudy billboards. It was pretty cool. Night has fallen. We're gonna find a place to stay, camp out, wake up, go to Philly.
Here we are, day 7. Stopped in Cumberland, Maryland. Nice little town, sunlit, right on the Potomac River. We're making our way a little slower than we thought out westward. Pennsylvania's established itself as quite the beast. Simon's been dealing with some reactions to some severe poison ivy. So right now we're just trying to fight our way through. Fortunately, we're meeting some good people along the way. When we were in Cumberland, we made friends with local kids from the trailer park. It was a pretty cool run-in. We actually camped out in their hangout spot, their nighttime hangout spot. And instead of kicking us out, they're actually pretty friendly. They sat down, chatted with us, shared their beers with us.
We cannot go through the mountains. We must go into the mines of Moria.
Here we are trying to survive the rain as we cross the Appalachians. Simon smiling in the background. Carter's making faces.
It's miserable, this rain.
Carter, you got anything to say for the folks back home? Odometer, there you have it. So imagine this, you've been biking all day, it's around 7 p.m. and now you gotta find somewhere to stay. You're filthy, you're tired, you're sweating like hell, and now you gotta go make friends. You gotta go knock on some stranger's door, ask them if you could camp out on their lawn, and just gotta be as chipper and innocuous as possible.
Like walked right here toward it, and it's like coming at you, and it's just like, holy shit.
Hey guys, howdy. So when we were passing through Akron, Ohio, it turns out we ran into some group. I don't know if they were from a local church or where exactly they were from, but they were set up in a park and they were handing out warm soup, and they had their kind of like chicken noodle thing going on, and they were handing that out to a lot of the local homeless people or folks who were just living on the street or who needed a meal. And it was awesome how the spontaneity of our arrival and us wanting to take part, and us, being on this journey and sharing that with them. And that just energized the whole place. So.
Give me one reason to stay here. Yeah, I'll turn right back around. Give me one reason to stay here. And I'll turn right back around. Said I don't wanna leave you lonely. You gotta make me change my mind. I know what to squeeze on. They might take away my life. Don't want no one to squeeze me. They might take away my life. I just want someone to hold me, yeah, and rock me through the night.
I think one of my favorite interactions on this trip was with a family in Angola, Indiana, who let us stay in their yard, but also invited us sort of into their house to use their grill. And they were very kind and open, and I felt like family. In fact, we joked that we were cousins to the one brother who didn't know who we were, and he believed us. And we had a great time, and we left the next day feeling like, I think, cousins for real. Made it to Chicago. Here we are. There's the city. Pretty. Lots of biking. Now we're going to meet Lake Michigan.
That's right.
For me, for the first time. Ready?
Let's do it.
Are we gonna run? Here we go. It's kind of cold. Nick's having a hard time.
When I was in Chicago,
Chicago, the three of us went out to find people to eat lunch with. Along the way, a fella asked me if I could spare some change or buy him some food or whatever. And since that's what I was trying to do, I did. Took him across the street to lunch, and it turns out his story is that he is living at a retirement community, and the food there is so bad that he goes out on the street and begs people for food.
So we just finished the lunch hour where we took out some people. Took some people out to get some meals.
When you stop and actually do the unexpected and treat people with dignity, you get off the script and you start living. And when you start living, people just open up. Man, when their defenses are dropped and they know that you want to hear them, they know that you're a real, genuine person, and you can't trade that for anything in the world. Chicago. Just had lunch with this old dude, just kind of falling apart. He can barely walk. Named Chris. I was biking by and I saw him there on the sidewalk. He was pretty much like fainted with his cup out, begging for change. And I went over, invited him to lunch. And the thing is, he can't really talk. He's missing a lot of his teeth. So I sat with him. We just sat on the sidewalk eating sandwiches. And we tried to have some talk back and forth, but he just had such a hard time expressing himself. He would give up, and it was so sad. And he really just wanted to get into a shelter. So my heart just broke for him, and so I gave him some cash so he could get to a shelter tonight.
There's a storm, so some lightning and thunder. Nothing we can't handle.
Here we are coming up on the Mississippi River, and by the looks of it, we ran out of road. Ain't that something? Look at this.
Something's trying to get out. So when we finally got to the Mississippi River, Simon actually wanted to jump ahead to Kansas City because he had a friend there that he really wanted to see, and we weren't going to make it in time had he biked with us. So he hopped on a train, and we parted our ways there.
Tonight for dinner, we're having an old classic chickpea juice. It's delicious after a long day of travels. Nice and salty. It's the spot.
Man, Nick here. Teach you a lesson about staying close to the team. Right now it's about closing in on midnight. Today's Saturday the 12th of July. We are here in the lovely town of Hamilton, Missouri. I got myself a nice camp set up in the car wash. I got my neighbors, the roaches, crawling up all over this kit. Well, here, let me show you some. Nice and juicy. As you can tell, I'm all alone here. Mr. Banks should be with me, but he's not here. Turns out, when we were at the Dollar General, I was getting some directions from someone else to go stay somewhere because we're going to have some serious thunders, and we have a tornado watch as well tonight. Mr. Banks thought it was a good idea to go off ahead without me, and that's the last I saw of him. So, stay tuned, and we'll see if we can get this all figured out. We'll see if Mr. Banks makes it through the night.
St. Joseph. Crawdad just had his wheel, or his back tire pop, so he's replacing that tube. Fortunately, perfect timing, just bought himself a new tire. And I was just able to stop in at a welding shop. The guys welded up my rear rack, which once again busted. So we've just been having a lot of luck here. We're gonna go find some people in downtown St. Joe, take them out to lunch, and yeah, then we'll stay here for the night and try to hitch a ride across Kansas tomorrow. Yet another delectable breakfast brought to us by the family of Henry here.
And viewers like you.
And viewers like you. We're trying to fuel up here before we hit the road. Today we're actually going to try to hitchhike across Kansas, which I think is going to be easier with two bikes as opposed to harder with two bikes.
So we're carb loading beforehand.
Hey folks, Friday, July 18th. Here we are in central Kansas, kind of in the middle of nowhere, just about. And we've been soliciting rides to get across Kansas for about the past 24 hours. Haven't had a single bite, so morale is low, but we got to keep on pushing. As you can tell, Carter back there can't even figure out how to use a tent properly anymore. He's just curled up under it trying to get out of the sun for a minute. And yeah, we'll catch you on the other side. See that there foot?
What's up?
That's how you know you earned some breakfast.
What was it? The very first time that we were jamming on this? Or there was some, we were doing a bunch of other stuff. It would be like,
Like a response.
I would just play that and then you'd do like all this other stuff and then we'd come back in on that. Stuff like that. And I think maybe it was twice as long. So it was the pause twice as long?
When we were hitchhiking through Kansas, morale was pretty low and we weren't getting many rides. It was probably 100 degrees. It was just disgusting. And I remembered that Stefan Serrano, one of my old roommates, was from Kansas. So I called him up and I asked him if he knew anyone in Topeka, which was the city we were going towards. And it turns out not only did he grow up in that city, but he was going to be passing through that same night. And so we just went over to the Serrano house. We had a great time, a fantastic meal. Got to meet all the family, got to see the family bakery. We did some jamming with Alex, his younger brother. And then the next day, they gave us a 100-mile ride westward.
All right, be careful, guys.
All right, see you guys.
Do we still want to stop by the grocery store real quick?
Yeah. That's how you get across the country, right? Oh, hell yeah. And that, my friends, is how we cover 100 miles in an hour. $6:20 a.m. on Sunday, July 20th. And there she is, the rising sun. Off to another full day of hitchhiking. Here we are in Salina, Kansas, right next to an on-ramp. There's I-70 back there. We're flying signs, and we're eating lunch. We got sandwiches made by Mama Serrano. Thank you so much. And some Skittles donated by a generous man passing by. Hitchhiking is a pretty challenging task mentally. Because we've been on the move for so much during this trip. Now we're kind of restless, standing on the side of the road. See Carter back there. I'm going to go get some more cardboard, make a different sign. This time we're going to tell people we're willing to pay money for a ride. Hopefully that's more of an incentive.
No shame.
You know, you get a lot of folks wave at us or who try to ignore us. On our side, we got to put up with the heat. We've been out in the sun all day, so we got to be smart about that. We also got to figure out how to balance out our decision making, because it's easy to be on the fence about what we actually want to do. So at this point, we're deciding to stay here instead of ride, because it's about 8 days to Colorado.
At the end of about 14 hours of waiting, after meeting a couple other hitchhikers that had gotten picked up, we got picked up by Ruth and Lizard. They both live on a farm. Ruth runs the farm, and Lizard is her granddaughter, I think. And it was fun hanging out, listening to Ruth's opinions on things and stories, and hanging around with Lizard, who is still very full of life and energy.
38 or something, but he retired off. He's a lineman for Tampa Bay. But at any rate, so he had a lot of free time, so, you know, I'd go ride with him.
And how far would you get in?
Another day, I invited this guy named Michael out to eat, and we just had a really heart-to-heart conversation about siblings and family love and family unity and whatnot. He was an old guy. Had served in the Vietnam War. And he's actually the one who gave me this cross. I usually don't wear a cross, but I like to keep this one because it reminds me of him. And he was so happy. He was just so grateful, you know, that I had taken the time to sit down with him and to chat. 30th, we're just outside of Denver waiting out the rain. And we're just kind of crashing here in the parking garage. We got caught in a downpour in Denver. It's probably the most wet we've been. This is how you find out that your rain jacket's not actually waterproof. We lost Crawdad back there. Hopefully he can make it through the tunnel.
I met this other guy, call him John. He was an older gentleman. He looked a little bit older, well, middle-aged. He looked like a middle-aged gentleman, and he was living on the street. I took him into a Qdoba and bought him a burrito. And, you know, I actually had a really hard time understanding a lot of what he said. His speech was hard to follow. Some of the things that I did catch seemed to be very strange, and I wasn't able to connect the dots necessarily. But what I really enjoyed about our meeting is how full of smiles he was, how energetic he was, and how I think very happy he was to be receiving this meal. And he wasn't. It was the one I did understand. This one thing was funny. I got him the burrito and I sat down with him, and before he would take a bite, before he would open it, before he would do anything, he made sure. He said, "You're going to sit down with me and talk with me, right?" And I said, "Well, yeah, of course." I got us some water and I sat down. And he's like, "Good, because you can't share a meal without talking to someone." And I was like, he's right. We do.
So today is the 26th of July, and we are here in Denver, 2014 by the way. And yesterday, around 10 p.m., we decided that we are not going to make it all the way to the West Coast. Between here and San Francisco, there is one big city, Salt Lake City. Other than that, it's vast wasteland, whether that be mountain or desert or more mountain.
Spain and the lowlands of Holland, in the kingdoms of England and Scotland and Wales. Windmills grew up all along the wild coastline, ships of the land with their might in their sails. And round and round and round went the big sails, turning the shaft of the great wooden wheel, creaking.
Forward in the Bold and Humble project, though it may be wrapping up its summer session, is far from over, and I promise you that there is more to come. So please stay tuned, get involved, and let me know if I'm crazy. Have a good night. Now here's the challenge. We've got leftover money from our fundraising, specifically for taking people who are marginalized out to lunch. So be bold, be humble, get in touch with me, and I'll fund you.